Hey, welcome to Board Game Today. I'm Brett. In my hands is the Warhammer 40,000 Imperium binder. What does that mean? We have a new box of releases for Warhammer 40,000 Imperium. Now, Warhammer 40,000 Imperium is a magazine where you can go and you get to collect armies for games of Warhammer 40,000. What's really great about it is that it is a progression as you go through the hobby. It teaches you modeling, painting, gaming, background, everything you need to get into Warhammer 40,000, allowing you to build a Forces of the Imperium that have Space Marines, Sisters of Battle, and Adeptus Mechanicus taking on Necrons. So we're going to go first show off the various magazines that will be coming out. Issue 8 through 11. This is issue 8. We get I think a Necron Overlord with it. Some nice savings there. I think the Overlord's like roughly, what, $35 or so for $15 or $14 magazine, plus some dice. And I'll throw in the dice for maybe $1. So nice savings, great way to build a Necron force nice and easy. Issue 9 and 10, you get a full 10-man squad of Necron warriors. They should be, what, $60 for, roughly, for a 10 squad? I think that's sort of $50, $60. Is that about what it is now? Plus, of course, you get the Scarabs, split between the two, so you're saving roughly $20, $30 or so by getting this. Great way, quickly build your Necron force, which I have been doing, so got to figure out how I'm going to model those, or at least where I'm going to put all those. And finally, we've got a Space Marine Librarian and Phobos armor, plus a brush to go on its character. So what characters are like $30, $35, right? So again, save some money. So those are the 4 magazines. We will be reviewing each individual mag one at a time over the next maybe a week or two or whatever. But as a bonus for those who subscribe, you get this binder where you can put in all your magazines. Now this is really, really interesting, and I think what's fascinating about the binder is it made me appreciate what they're doing even more. It breaks down how you can easily organize everything that you've been given so far. You got the sections of how to collect, reading material, going over the various factions and history, how to build, how to paint, and then finally how to play with some subsections of that. But what I think is really interesting and something I didn't necessarily notice, we're just going to take the collect here, is up in the corner tells you exactly what you should be doing. So this is B background 1. I put that B as 1. We have C HQ01, HQ05, D for troops 01, E for elites 01. So you can go and put these in order and keep things organized easily. Background, we got very similar. I started with A for Imperium, and then B goes into war zones. And notice there's numbers to make things easier. We got war zones 2 here. We got more war zones 2 material. We've got stories 1. Stories 2, and then we dive into Space Marines 3, 4. I think what's kind of fascinating to me is there are gaps in some of these numbers. So you go from Necrons 1 to Necrons 5. I thought that was really interesting. So the question is, where's 2, 3, 4? And 5 goes to 7, so of course there's 6 somewhere of that. But I think what's really cool, and what this emphasizes to me of how well thought out the process is. It really takes you through the hobby and teaches you about everything, and it gives you a nice. It shows the progression. It really shows off. There's a lot of thought put into this of how to teach Warhammer 40,000 and get people into the hobby. For those who look at those sort of details, I'm actually really, really impressed with how they've put this together. My only knock at all is the dividers are kind of flimsy. I wish they were maybe a little bit thicker. It's the same material, I think, as the magazines, which is why it's the thinner material, but that's about the only thing. It feels like it might rip and get destroyed pretty easily. But the folder itself is actually really nice. I kind of fascinated to see the organizing as we get more folders and more magazines. I myself will be taking each magazine and putting it in the folder as I get them. So I think it's really cool, really interesting, very, very intelligent, and you get a better sense of how they're going about putting this all together. So stay tuned right here at Board Game Today. We will have of course, reviews of every single one of those magazines, going over the figures as I build out my forces. Maybe do a little bit of an update of everything I've been doing for my Necron and Space Marine forces. I haven't just been using these magazines. I've been going and enhancing them with other stuff that I have. The Indominus box set, you know, being the most obvious one. I just went through with the previous box set. What was it, Dark Vengeance or whatever, Dark Imperium, whatever it was, the one with Nurgle. Put together the Marines from that. I've been kind of going through and getting some stuff here and there, especially with the Necrons. There is a hell of a force that's been built. So yeah, stay tuned, as I said, right here at Board Games Today. If you want the latest miniature game news, Games Workshop, board games, card games, trading card games, role-playing games, BoardGameToday.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, all at Board Game Today, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep rolling those dice and get your game on. Hey, thanks for watching Board Game Today. We always appreciate your views and your support, but there are so many ways for you to support our site. Not only can you do it right here on video, but you can go and check us out at BoardGameToday.com, where we have more news, reviews, interviews, everything you could ever want. But since you're here, if you can always give us a like, subscribe, or share our videos or watch something else. Is always much appreciated, and get your game on.